spoiled ass little brat, Olivia Jade, went on Red Table Talk this week. Her spoiled little dumb bitch ass went on, and I know I'm probably gonna get criticized for that later on, but her spoiled little dumb ass went on and cried. Please forgive me. Dumb fucking twat. So why am I so angry? So if you remember last year, the FBI accidentally stumbled upon the college admission scandal when they were actually doing another investigation. So props to the FBI. And in their quest, found that Full House star Lori Loughlin and a fashion designer, her husband, Massimo Giannulli, were using money to get their kids into school. Oh, look, typical rich people. Okay, yeah, you got it. Typical rich ass, ungrateful as little motherfuckers were doing it. Okay, there you go. And she went on, so now her daughter, while her mom's in jail, went on to Table Talk. And she cried for redemption. And you know, I just want to get into it because this is so stupid. And I'm going to get into Grandma later, Grandma Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith's mom, for laying the smackdown. I mean, seriously. But let's get into this real quick.
Olivia Jade Giannulli talking for the first time about the college admissions scandal that grabbed the national spotlight. Both her parents, Full House star Lori Loughlin and fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, are in jail right now after pleading guilty for their roles in the so-called Varsity Blues scandal.
It's been hard. I think for anybody, no matter what the situation is, you don't want to see your parents go to prison.
Yeah.
But also I think it's necessary for us to move on.
Right.
And move forward.
Yeah, of course you want to move on, you fuck. You dumbass little shit. Of course you want to move on. Oh man, it's so tough to see our parents go to jail. Nobody wants to see that, but you know, at the same time, we gotta move on and move forward. Of course you're gonna move forward, you dumb little shit. You got your YouTube channel. Your family's got millions, hundreds of millions of dollars together. Your family's companies are still running. They're still getting money in their pockets. Of course you're going to move on. You're going to move on to do your YouTube channel. They're going to probably, your husband's going to probably get even bigger deals. Write a book, just like your fucking mom. And you want to move on? You know who can't move on? You know who can't move on? The parents who do try and do what your parents did, who are color parents, who aren't white like your motherfucking parents. And then they get caught, and then they're still in prison, and they're still paying the consequences because they ain't rich, you dumb twat. That's why. That's why. You know who else can't move on? Like, I know I'm in prison, but I just got to move on. You know who can't do that? People who are in prison who are black and brown because they incarcerated more than white people. That's who can't move on. That's who. Black men shot by the cops. Can they move on? No, they can't move on. Can black men and black women and brown men and brown women move on when they're caught for an ounce of weed? When they're called, forging a check or whatever it is that George Floyd did? No, they can't just move on from that. There's consequences that you don't have to suffer. Oh, I want to move on because I'm so fucking privileged. Yeah. No, you're a dumbass little shit. That's what you are. You're a piece of crap. And that's my cat. So that's what you hear. Hello. But that's what you are. You're so stupid. You know who else can't move on? I don't know. Families that couldn't afford to go to college because they wanted to go to college, because they wanted to make a better life for themselves, but instead they had to go to some other school that might have not been as good as USC because you fucking took their spots, you dumb little shit. That's who can't move on. How about the student with $50,000 in student loan debt? Barely starting out in his career and barely makes enough money to pay the rent, let alone pay off his fucking debt. How about the doctor or someone else going into school and they end up with $300,000, $400,000 in student debt? Oh, I'm sorry, did I mention $500,000? Is that what your parents paid? Yeah, they can't move on. You can, because you're rich. Yeah, privileged as fuck. That's what you are, Olivia Jade. And the fact that you're asking for sympathy, hell no. Now let's hear more about this.
Federal prosecutors say Laughlin and Giannulli paid $500,000 in a scheme involving alleged mastermind Rick Singer's fake charity to get Olivia Jade and her older sister, 22-year-old Isabella Rose, into the University of Southern California. Olivia talked to Jada Pinkett Smith on the Facebook watch show Red Table Talk about that college application process.
I was a little confused when I saw stuff about what I had written on my application, and I remember writing on my application about my YouTube channel and VidCon, and there were two very different things.
Right.
You know, so there was a lot of it that I was like, whoa.
But according to court documents, Olivia and her sister posed for these rowing photos to get them into the school as recruits for the crew team.
Now, she's like, oh my god, I was so confused on the application. Shut the fuck up. Shut the hell up. Oh, I wrote down VidCon and YouTube. YouTube and VidCon. As TJ Holmes from Good Morning America said, she posed for rowing photos. They literally had her parents, with the people who were helping their asses, had her and Isabella Rose, her older sister, on rowing machines, and then they would like take pictures of them, and then they made up a bunch of fake ass awards that they had won, and then, oh look, she got into the crew team, even though neither of them had played the sport before. Neither of them. Neither girl had ever played the sport before. No, Olivia Jade had her YouTube channel. That's the only thing she ever did with her life. Because she was spoon-fed. She had a silver spoon in her fucking mouth. Just like every other rich son of a bitch in this country. Oh, now you're being rich. You're being mean to rich people. You're not fucking rich. Why the fuck are you worried about how people treat rich people? Oh, but they created lots of jobs. Are you going against them for their jobs? Oh, so are you ignoring the corruption? Is that what you're doing? Because this is all corruption. You tell me what college student, because I know I wasn't the one who could. My brother couldn't do it. My dad was he's a real estate agent, but he couldn't afford to do this. What college kid, average college kid, black, brown, white, Hispanic, Muslim, everybody, which one of us could pay people to help us pose for rowing photos, make fake awards, and then pay off universities? Which college kid? That's right, there's none, except if you're white and if you're rich. Now, I bet you there's black and brown kids that also pay off the schools and they get in too. But wow. Well, this goes into a bigger issue. Oh, you paid the school $7 million over the last 10 years? Okay. How many kids do you have? 2? Who's coming first? Him? Oh, he gets automatic. Meanwhile, you have a kid who's trying hard as hell and doing everything he can or she can to get into the school, applying, going through the college application process, getting scholarships, getting good grades, doing community service, getting letters of recommendation. And meanwhile, these stupid asses just got their fucking kids in. You weren't confused. You participated in it. Oh, what if they didn't tell her what she was doing? Oh, come on. Really? If my mom came to me and said, Jason, I need you to sit down and pose as a BMX rider, like a BMX biker person, the first question I would ask is, why? I'm not just going to be like, oh, sure, here. All right, I'm ready. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be asking you. That's what I'm going to be doing. You know, like, and these are smart kids. You think Olivia Jade, who has deals with Sephora, Ulta Beauty, VidCon, YouTube, everybody. You think she's just gonna walk in and go, okay, here? You gotta be stupid to think that. Really? She's very careful with what she does. No, she absolutely fucking knew about this. She knew. She knew. Now she's going to talk about privilege. Oh, can't wait to hear this.
She also tells the Red Table she found out about the scandal while on spring break with her friends and never returned to school.
I was too embarrassed. You know what? I shouldn't have been there in the first place, clearly.
Anything to say, Lori?
Lachlan was sentenced to 2 months in jail. Giannulli, 5.
When all of this first happened and it became public, I remember thinking, which my thoughts are completely different now, but I remember thinking, how are people mad about this? Like, I know that sounds so silly, but in the bubble that I grew up in, I didn't know so much outside of it.
Because what was going on looked like to you that it was just, this is what happens. Like, everybody does this. This is normal.
But I didn't realize at the time that's privilege. I didn't put those two together.
Oh, I thought everybody did this. Now, the first thing she says, maybe, I was embarrassed to go back to school. I didn't go back. I was really embarrassed. Yeah, because I don't know. Maybe because your classmates, who, if they don't go to class, a lot of times they get dropped because professors are tired of their asses, and then they lose all the money that they had to pay to get in. And maybe because the federal government keeps a record on us, and then they know, oh wow, you skipped class, maybe we're not gonna fund you anymore. I don't know. Maybe they would be angry at you and would give you the stare down, and you'd probably get your ass beat the way you deserve because they don't get to go on yacht parties on spring break, because a lot of them are dorming from Louisiana, Connecticut, Ohio to USC. That's what's happening. Oh yeah, you're going to be embarrassed because you didn't have to go through the financial aid process. You're not fighting during that time that this scandal popped up to get financial aid in the first place. You're not fighting to get your grades up because you're not showing up to class. You're not fighting to make sure you get a good GPA because you want to get into that graduate program or maybe that internship at the end of the school year and in the summer or during that school year in particular. Or maybe you want to get into that good PhD program because you want to be a doctor, because you want to do something with your life instead of being a lazy, white, spoiled ass little rich motherfucker like you. Yeah, okay, yeah. No, you'd be embarrassed because they'd give you the stare down because they had to work their asses off. Their asses off. How many essays did they have to create, Olivia? Huh? How many, I have to ask this. How many scholarships did they have to apply for? How many did they get rejected from? How many colleges did they apply for? How much debt did their parents take out so that they could go to school? For a Parent Plus loan, which is where your parent takes out the loan for you, right? And then they incur the interest. How many loans did they have to take out, Isabella? How much heartache did they have to go through to find a roommate because they actually wanted to go to school, because they wanted to improve their lives? Yeah, of course you'd be embarrassed. And then she says, well, hey, in my bubble. First, she says, why are people mad about this? I don't know. Why are people mad about this? Because maybe they don't have the money to bribe people like you do? I don't know. I'm stupid. I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know, but that could be it. Rich little shit. Hey, I don't get it. Here's the, okay. That's what I thought. And then I was like, my bubble, I didn't know what privilege was not. I didn't know I was privileged. Really? You really thought? And then Jada trying to back her ass up like, oh, maybe it's because you thought everybody does this. This is just normal. Wow! Jada, you know better. Your mama is a black woman who wasn't raised on wealth. It was because of you who got successful in shows and movies that gave your mom that money. I'm not putting you down. Good on you. I love to see a black and a brown person get paid. But You're really gonna say, "Oh, yeah, because that's what you thought." No, you could have said that's what you thought, but listen, honey, I don't believe you. Really? You're gonna think, Olivia, that everyone lives in multi-million-dollar mansions, makes multi-billion-dollar deals in designer clothing, gets on movie sets every day, gets to ride in helicopters every single day, and get to school on helicopters, and gets to bribe a bunch of people to take their SATs and ACTs for them. Do you know how much shit people have to go through just to study for those? No, you don't. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, you really thought that every person in America earning $20,000, $30,000 a year is bribing everybody to go to college. You really think that? Oh, I'm at UNLV. I wanted to go to UCLA, but the cost was $35,000. Oh, but hey, I could have bribed someone because I had the money. No, I didn't. I didn't have any of that money. Oh, but it's okay. I got money. I'm not a rich person, and yet I can afford $500,000 fucking dollars to bribe myself into fucking college. Yeah, okay. Wow. Now, did her parents tell her, hey, you're really privileged? No, possibly not. Maybe not. But you really gotta think that those fans who are buying your fucking merchandise and watching your channel and watching podcasts like the Zach Sang, whatever his name is, you really think that all those fans are bribing people to go to college or paying off schools so their kids can go to college? No, it's because you're a stupid ass little shit. You have no brains, you have no smarts, and you couldn't survive any ACT, SAT, or any quarterly exam that your professors would have given you had you actually shown your ass up to class. You would have failed miserably because you don't know shit. Because you're privileged. Don't give me that shit. Oh, I didn't know. Maybe you didn't know because you were born with a fucking silver spoon in your mouth and your parents didn't fucking teach you. Don't give me that excuse. Because Rob Lowe was one who spoke out about this. And his son got into college by working his ass off. And you cheated. You took somebody's spot. That's what you did. So that whole excuse of I didn't know. I gotta tell you something. I didn't really know. Bullshit on top of bullshit. All bullshit. Ain't no way she didn't know.
But Pinkett Smith's mom and co-host Adrienne Banfield Norris was clear. She objected to giving Olivia Jade the red table platform in the first place and pressed her about privilege, something Olivia Jade says before the scandal she didn't realize she had.
When you come to the table with something like this, it's like, child, please.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, I get that.
At the end of the day, you're going to be okay because your parents are going to go in and they're going to do their 60 days and they're going to pay their fine. And you guys will go on and you'll be okay and you will live your life.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us that it is not going to be that situation.
Yeah.
It just makes it very difficult right now for me to care.
So what have you learned specifically?
To know, like, okay, Olivia, the fact that you were on YouTube and you were saying stuff like, I don't want to go to school. The fact that you even could say those things just shows how fortunate you were, that you didn't have to worry about that, that you knew you were going to be okay without it.
Right.
And that sits with me and makes me cringe, and it's embarrassing that I ever said those types of things.
Now, I love that clip. I love that clip. That is Grandma. They call her Gammy. Gammy, they call her that. She laid the smack down on that girl. She smacked her ass down. Child, please. Girl, stop your whining. Stop crying. Stop whining. And it's amazing how she comes in front of 3 black women to talk about, oh man, woo, times are so tough. Olivia Jade, black people were lynched And according to 2020, they're still lynched to this day. You know, Olivia Jade, black people, when they go apply for loans, often get higher interest rates than white people. Oh, okay, you didn't know that, huh? No, because, your parents really don't have to apply for a lot of interest rates. And then a lot of times they can deduct a lot of those interest rates on their taxes because they got fancy attorneys. And a lot of times they don't really have to take out debt, even though they do because they're rich. I don't know why. But they don't really have to take out debt to put you through school, for your dad to start a new designer line, for whatever it is, for your mom to go, do anything she wants to do. Your mom don't have to do any of that. You don't have to worry about debt. You don't have to worry about interest rates at all. For you to come and say that, stupid. And I like how Adrian Norris made that point, which is, I'm going to untangle these. It's basically, oh my God, you're crying? You guys are going to go on your merry ways. Your daddy, your mama gonna come out, do their 60 days. And then, give me a break. Oh my God. You're gonna do their 60 days, come out, pay their fines, which they can afford because, they're not average people who work 9-to-5 jobs or minimum wage jobs just to help their single mom or their single dad take care of their siblings. Because they're not you guys. They can't afford that, but your parents, they're just going to pay their fines, do their hundreds of hours of community service, probably apply for a movie deal within that time, write a good book at that time. Your dad's going to become a better designer at that time. You're going to continue your YouTube channel. Now, depending on how corporate America acts, they're probably going to even hire you. They're going to give you even more sponsored deals. What are you worried about? I'm happy she mentioned that. What are you worried about? You should be worried about nothing. Nothing. You privileged little grumpy ass little shit. You don't know what privilege is if it hit you in the fucking face. You need to do more research. The only reason you're apologizing right now, Olivia Jade, is because you got caught. That's it. That's the only reason she's apologizing. Otherwise, they would have all gone on their merry way. Rich people paying off the system. And then you get a lot of people who see my podcast get mad when, which feels weird to say, but according to the views, it's a lot. So stupid. Why are you attacking these people? Just let them live their life. No, I'm glad she laid that damn smack down. I'm glad she laid that smack down. It's just incredible. They're going to get richer. Nothing's going to happen. She needs to do more work behind the scenes to know what it's really like to be privileged. Fuck, send her to the middle of North Korea. Send her there. No iPhone, no helicopter. Send her as an average citizen of North Korea to Kim Jong-un's territory. Send her there. Because guess what? She wouldn't survive. And this whole thing that she's like, oh, I'm ashamed to have said those things. I don't like school. Da, 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 da. The fact that you're so privileged, you get to say that shows how privileged you are. Yeah, I hope you know that. Because I'm $10,000 in student debt. But you little shit, you're $0 in student debt. You took people's chances away. Black and brown people don't have it the way you have it, Olivia Jade. Black and brown people don't have it where they'll make $1 million sponsored deals, get $1 million book deal, and $1 million movie deal and designer deal, and move on with their lives. None of us have that except for you little shit. So again, this is Olivia Jade trying to cry and cry and cry. Shut up. Shut the hell up. I'm tired of you. I hope you don't get a second chance. But again, my hopes are just going to go down the drain. I hope your life goes down the drain, Olivia Jade. That's what I hope. Because there are many of us who would have killed for the opportunities you unfairly got and that you were unfairly given.